getting worse at this shofar blowing. Next year I'll be able to pick my own shofar. We began yesterday in a three-minute daily dose of Torah, looking at the Rambam on the establishment of the months based on the witnesses that there used to be, and then after the cessation of the Beit Din in Israel, shifting to the calendar that we know. The Rambam actually clarifies in this section of Hilchos Kiddush and Hachodesh that wherever messengers reached, they could follow. They would hear and know what day they were going to be observing. Wherever messengers didn't reach, they kept 2 days for all the different festivals, and we're not going to discuss other festivals, Bisman Hazeh, why we still keep 2 days. I'm just going to, he declares that is all set into place to be practiced as the Chachamim's decree. But what about Rosh Hashanah? What happened with that? The Rambam says the following: Yom Tov Shel Rosh Hashanah Bisman Hazeh Bisman Sheyikaven Al Re'iyah. During the time when the Beit Din still received the witnesses for Rosh Hashanah, Hayu Rov B'nei Eretz Yisrael Osino Toshnei Yamim Misafek. Most of the people, even in Israel, forget the people far away, even in Israel, had to keep 2 days of Rosh Hashanah because they knew when the last Rosh Chodesh was, and they knew that because they know how the moon works. It's either today, the 30th day, or tomorrow, the 31st day after the last Rosh Chodesh. So they would always keep both days misafek, out of doubt. Because they simply didn't know what the Beit Din would have decided because the shluchim, the messengers, didn't go out. V'lo od, he says, not only that, afilu b'Yerushalayim atzma, even in Jerusalem itself, shehu makom Beit Din, that's where the Beit Din is. So you say, well, they're going to get the information. Nonetheless, Pamrim Rabot Hayu Osin Yom Tov Shel Rosh Hashanah Shnei Yamim. Very, very often they kept it 2 days, even in Yerushalayim. She'im lo ba'u ha'idin kol Yom Shloshim. Because let's say those witnesses didn't come the whole day. They're waiting. It's the 30th day after the last Rosh Chodesh. Is it going to be today or tomorrow? So that whole day, what do they do in that day? Because usually Rosh Chodesh is not a big deal. Okay, there's some sacrificial issues and the songs that the Leviim would sing. But in this case, it's the only holiday that falls on the Chodesh. So how do you treat this day? So they decided to determine, you know what, this day, even though we're not yet certain whether the witnesses are going to come, we better treat it holy. So they treated Kodesh Ulmachar Kodesh. This day that they expected the witnesses, the 30th, and the next day they treated holy. Since it was really the case that they would often, there was a pretty standard practice, they would treat both days as holy, even when they were using the witnesses. It was decided that, you know what, everyone, including even in Israel, you're going to observe 2 days. And in Israel, there's only 1 day of all the other festivals. Only 1 day of Yontif Sukkot, only 1 day of Yontif Pesach, beginning and the end. Only 1 day of Shavuos, because the witnesses would always, the messengers would arrive. It was not possible, and even in Yerushalayim, they had to treat it with uncertainty. So it was simply established that even now, when we are using a calculation which could pretty much pinpoint it, we still treated 2 days, and that was a decree. Even the second day of Rosh Hashanah is based on the authority of the sages that it should be treated holy. How you look at this site, is it what's called is this simply a Safek Yom? Is it this day or that day? I'm not certain which day it is. Or is this new entity they call the Yoma Arichta? One long day we'll leave for another time to analyze. But I hope this has been insightful for you, that you've gained insight to this about the establishment of 2 days of Rosh Chodesh that we observe, of course, to this very day.